What if the missing link to manifesting more abundance in your life is as simple as saying thank you for what you already have? The key is you can't just say or think the words offhandedly. You have to mean them and you have to believe them and you have to feel them. It has to be genuine gratitude for it to honestly and more effectively attract that abundance that you are trying to manifest. Welcome to the Rockstar Manifestors podcast, where you will learn how to manifest like the rock star you are. We don't do safe, we don't do someday, and we definitely don't do ordinary here. I'm Pati, your host, coach, and rock and rebel witch with a vision, here to guide you from making your vision board to living it by breaking the mold and living the life you choose, even if you don't yet know exactly what that looks like. If you're ready to manifest your dreams, step into your power, and embody those rockstar vibes, you're in the right place. Let's crank it up and get going. Rebel Rockstar Manifestors. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Rockstar Manifestors podcast. I am Pati, your manifestation coach and rock and rebel witch here, bringing you the topic of this week's episode, which is falling into gratitude. Or fall into gratitude is better worded because we are in the fall season, and so I am connecting this gratitude topic with the fall season because they really do work very well together. Seasonally, fall is the harvest time, right? If you think of nature and cycles, fall is the harvest time. So traditionally or typically you would think of being grateful or expressing and practicing gratitude for the abundance that is being harvested. And although we are not an agricultural society, for the most part, we don't all live following the agricultural or the seasonal cycles based on or for the purposes of agriculture. We can still tap into that energy of the seasons that is supported by the seasons and practice gratitude for what we have harvested personally, professionally, lessons. It can be tangible things, it can be experiences, it can be ahas, anything that you are or have uh, harvested or that you can look at as harvesting, something that you have harvested personally definitely applies when we think of it as the seasonal cycle. And if you're someone who also follows or works with or is interested in the lunar cycle, which if you're here, you are, sure have at least have a curiosity about that, because that is something that I am very familiar with and that I do work with. We are currently, I am recording this on October 27th of 2024. So not only are we in the fall season right now, today and into tomorrow, we are also in the current lunar cycle in the third quarter phase of the lunar cycle, which coincides with the fall season and this gratitude um, energy. Because if you look at the entire year, the 12-month year as a lunar cycle, the fall season matches up or aligns with the third quarter phase of the lunar cycle. So we have a little bit of that double energy right now. And if you're watching this or listening to this in the future when we are not in the third quarter phase of the lunar cycle, that's okay. All of these things that I talk about, there is no wrong time to start learning about them, to start implementing them, to tweak or refine or add to your practices. I am just using the seasonal cycle as a framework to help bring these topics and information to you, but there really is no wrong way or wrong time to get started or to implement these practices. And so Before I dive into the meat of the episode, and I did mention at the beginning that it's fall into gratitude, but I'm also tying it into journaling. So, really, it's manifesting abundance through journaling, as we fall into gratitude with the theme of the season that we're in right now. And so, I do want to touch briefly on how powerful gratitude is. And I will talk about that throughout the episode, and also that it is easier. I shouldn't say very easy, but it is easier to practice and express and feel gratitude for the things that are going well, or for the things that we enjoy, things that we wanted. Also, the practice of gratitude is important to incorporate when things are challenging. We all have an experience and go through those challenging times in life. And this practice of gratitude helps you change your perspective and helps you see, or at least be mindful of looking for the good in that, whether it's something good that will be coming down the line from this experience or whatever the situation is, or something that you can actually find good right in the moment, or that you can kind of focus on, because there is always something. It may not be um clear, it may not, you may not know what it is in the moment, but maybe practicing gratitude when you don't know what it is, for what will come, the good that will come from the circumstance and the situation. So I'm going to go break down a couple of different areas through this episode. I'm going to start with why gratitude is essential for manifesting, or at least very important. I will also be giving you some journal prompts that you can use and jot down or keep handy, that you can write about, or think about, or whatever works best for you, to help you tap into that energy and the practice of gratitude. And I did earlier in at the beginning mention how it is very important to not just say or think the words. And I was thinking of an example, and the example to kind of put that into perspective is, think how easily or how often we simply say the words thank you out of habit or out of custom. Like, if someone holds the door open for you, it's very common to say thank you as you walk on by. But actually, how many times or how often do we look at the person and say, like, look at them, connect with them visually, and, say it so that they receive it, like they truly receive it from us? Or how often do we, say thank you when someone freshens up our coffee or something like that at a restaurant? So it is a very common practice, and it is something that we do out of habit a lot of the times. But really taking that moment to really feel into it and let the other person, the recipient of those words, also feel them and know that they are really genuine. And it really doesn't take much. It seems it can be as easy as making that eye contact, or putting a smile on your face when you're on the phone. You may have heard, I don't know if it's such a common thing anymore, but that people can hear the smile if you're on the phone, if they're not seeing you face to face. And it's true, putting that energy of the smile and just a little bit more energy and intention into saying the words goes a long way. So, here we go. Let's see, let me get my information here handy, or in the right spot to follow along. So, at least from my perspective, and again, this comes primarily from my perspective, my experiences. I will share some uh data type things, information, but this is really all coming from my experiences, my perspective, my thoughts. And so take that as you will, and implement and try these things in ways that work for you, or find ways to, if it's something doesn't make sense, look into it more, send in a question, but take this information with an open mind, and seeing how it can be applicable, or how it can benefit you or help you see things in a different way, in a new way than what you have historically or what you currently C. So, energy, gratitude has energy. Everything has energy. And so, gratitude, and like I talked about, really feeling it and being intentional with it aligns our energy with abundance. And that then attracts us. Think of it like as a magnet. That energy is putting out the oh, I don't know the scientific words for how magnets work. I know it's the opposites and the polarity and all that, but think of it as that energy is attracting more of the abundance that you're looking for. It's a magnet for what you desire. And so in that sense, energy, if you feel gratitude, even without saying the words out loud or even writing them down, if you feel it, that really is the most important thing because that connects you with the vibration of the the energy, the vibration of gratitude, the feeling of gratitude. And that's much more important than writing it or saying it. Those are extras, those are additional ways, those are on top of the feeling, how you can amplify that as well, or amplify that magnetism, if you will. So, like attracts like, you probably have heard things like that. So, the more that you are grateful, the more things you will attract to be grateful for. And it sounds so simple, but again, it really comes down to that intention and not just simply saying it out of habit or not just simply saying, I'm grateful, I'm, thankful for the things and all that, but at the same time having this, but I want more, or doesn't that mean I should have more? Like an expectation. Really, it's being present in the feeling of gratitude and making it a routine part of your everyday, of your life, of your daily day-to-day activities. So focusing on the journey is a good way to get out, or at least kind of not make that, but I don't have it yet thinking, because it pops up for all of us. So don't think that I am immune to having these thoughts and experiences. I definitely not. So, but focusing on the journey and like, what have I learned along the way? What have I experienced along the way? What have I actually gained along the way? And how can I show gratitude and find different aspects of the thing to be grateful for? And an example of that is, let's say you're grateful or in your gratitude practices, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Let's say you say something or you focus on, you're expressing gratitude for the food that you have in your fridge, or the food that you have at home that you're out to eat or whatever. Taking that, like the journey on that, go deeper and explore how did that food get there? So gratitude for the people that prepared the food for you if you're at a restaurant. Gratitude for the service providers like the truck drivers or the grocery store clerks, and the whole entire process of start to finish. Like, where did that food start? It started from being grown or planted, or being raised on a farm or a ranch. So look at all the different levels that you could look at and explore to be grateful for. And that is the journey, right? That's the journey of the thing that you are receiving. So you are also on a journey. And the things that keep coming to you, the abundance, the things that you are manifesting, they are also going on a journey just like you are. So that, I have found, is a great way to kind of shift the perspective. And it's like, oh, well, where is it along the journey? Or can I just be simply grateful and focus on the journey and being grateful for that instead of the end result and how or when, or, the timing of when it's going to be received. And so that thinking, that aspect of like, when is it going to happen, or I need it to happen now, that tends to lead us, if we follow that train of thought, into the lack mentality because you're focusing on not having it yet. So gratitude is this magical practice of rewiring your brain to believing and belief that you have it, belief that it's coming. Because when you say thank you for something, whether it's that habitual or that, just automatic thank you, or whether you are taking that deeper and experiencing it and feeling it, that is because it's already happened, right? Like when you say thank you for someone opening the door, someone has opened the door for you. When you say thank you for receiving a gift or for something being brought to you, you are receiving that. You have gotten that. And so your brain has that connection. So when you say thank you or you practice gratitude ahead of time for the things that you are manifesting, it rewires your brain into just knowing like, oh, okay, so if I don't see it yet, it's coming. If I don't have it yet, it's coming. I believe that, I know that to be true because I am practicing and I'm being grateful for it ahead of time. So it really is this way of rewiring your brain out of lack mentality and not having it yet to like, I know it's coming, and helping you get excited about that coming. And that just makes it seem like it's definite, right? And a good way of looking at that is like, think about your birthday or Christmas or something that you look forward to. And let's say it, maybe as a kid, 6 months or a year feels like a long time. And as we grow, the time doesn't seem to good, it doesn't, time goes faster. But we know the holiday is coming, or we know the vacation is coming. We know that our birthday is coming. And so we make plans, right? We make plans for our birthday. We make plans for who we're going to see. We know what's going to happen in those moments. Even though it hasn't happened yet, we get excited about it. So that's the type of energy that I'm talking about for being grateful for something ahead of time. You don't have to know all the details, just know you will be experiencing it. You will be having it, just like your birthday is coming, or the thing, whatever the thing is that you're looking forward to that hasn't happened yet, but is coming. You can transfer that same energy, that same way of looking at it at for the things that you are desiring and manifesting and attracting into your life. And I came across a not a meme, but like a saying, like a little graphic on social media that was really relevant to this way of thinking. And I think it applies to gratitude. It doesn't say gratitude. I'll read it for you, but it really does apply. And it says, you can have anything you want as long as you're willing to give up the belief that you can't have it. Practicing gratitude helps you strengthen or even develop and then strengthen that belief that you can have it, because it starts to make it real for you and your brain. And so you can have absolutely anything you want. What's keeping you a lot of the times from having that is the belief. You think you can't have it, or it's too far away, or it's not for you. And gratitude is an antidote for that. So that's a little bit about how, the different, like the energetics and the perspectives, how you can shift your perspective and start to make it real for yourself ahead of time. And, some examples. So hopefully that helped. I'm going to move into, I have, how many do I have here? Let me see. I have 4 journal prompts. So I will read them for you. You can either jot them down or come back and listen to this, save the episode or the video or whatever it is, and have them handy to incorporate into your gratitude practice. You can use these journal prompts to help you start a gratitude practice. And if journaling is something that you experience resistance to, also try to shift your perspective on that. Journaling doesn't have to be this big, drawn out, page and paragraph. I talk about different various methods of journaling in these episodes and in the things that I share and bring to you guys. But journaling can be bullet points. Journaling can be just a few words or a part of a phrase or something that comes to mind. It just has to mean something for you. It has to be something that's coming from you, or thoughts, questions that you have. It doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to be a lot of writing. It can truly be just a few words, as long as you're focusing on what's coming up for you when you are answering or writing to or responding to these journal prompts. So, prompt number 1: What is something you have now that you once dreamed of having? And this is very important to focus on this because it helps you to say, hey, I once wanted this and now it's a reality. Again, you can apply that same energy. You can apply that same evidence to the things that have not yet materialized or manifested in your reality yet. So, reflecting on that journey that I referenced, that I talked about, that journey, is a process. Nothing, or not everything happens instantaneously. As much as we would like it to, it doesn't happen instantaneously. A lot of things do, some things do, but not everything. There is a process to things, and sometimes the process is very short and quick, and sometimes the process is much longer. So, what is something you have now that you once dreamed of having? And for an example, for myself, it can be a physical thing. It can be, um, something tangible. But for me, what I have now that I once dreamed of having is the time freedom to schedule my day and plan my day as I want. I had um a regular, I shouldn't say regular because it was a very like a sporadic schedule, but I had a schedule, or my days were filled with time that others booked for me, like others planned my time, or I had appointments that others made for me. And over time, through the process of desiring this time freedom, it evolved over time. So now I have the freedom to schedule my days the way that I want. I have the freedom of working when I want and knowing what I have to get done. I have now the ability to get that done as I can, or as I want, or as I see fit, as opposed to having a schedule or a traditional or more typical time frame of scheduling my days. So that is something that I once dreamed of having, the time freedom, and now I do have it. And so now it's, I mean, still I think I might continually be evolving of what that looks like, how I now schedule my days, what my days look like, because they look much different than they did when I didn't have the time freedom. And just real quickly, when I didn't have the time freedom and I had like a more of a traditional, um, you know, it wasn't 9 to 5, but just as an example, that type of structure to my day, I continually told myself back then, or a thought that I repeatedly had and said out loud was like, I'm living my life on the weekends because I don't have time during the week. My time is not mine during the week. So the more I said that, well, the more it stayed reality. The more that, that became, that continued on. When I started to shift my thinking, my desires, and being grateful for it ahead of time, things changed over time. And now I do have the freedom to work from wherever, anywhere, as long as I have an internet connection for the most part, and also to schedule my days as I see fit. And I did not have that back then. So, number two, prompt number two. In what ways do you embody the life you envision? So, you have this desire, or you have a dream, or a like, oh, what if I could have this? So, in what ways do you embody that life now? And I want to make a distinction that embodying and acting as if does not mean spending as if, or does not mean putting yourself in a situation that is not, financially feasible for you. Stretching yourself a little bit, yes, but acting as if. So, what does your day look like when you have this, when this materializes? And keeping with my example, when I did not have the time freedom, how I started embodying it was saying, okay, what can I control? What can I do right now that is like, or moves me in the direction of what my days will be like when I have the time freedom? And so I started blocking off times and saying, I cannot take appointments before this time or after this time, instead of leaving it open ended. So I started narrowing the time frame, and it was uncomfortable, and there were a couple times where I felt like, oh, I need to say yes to this appointment, or I need to, let them keep it at that time because that's what I had done before. But knowing that that's not in alignment with what I see and what I envision and what I desire helped me to say, no, I need to make this change. And so to have different results, we need to do things differently. So, in what ways can you embody? And that can be, how can you walk through life, start walking through life in the energy of the person who is doing that, who is living that. So, think of it that way. How can you walk in the energy? Can you wear something that helps you feel like that version of yourself? Can you have an accessory? Can you listen to music? What can you do to embody that without turning that into, well, if I had more financial resources or more time resources or whatever the case is, I would be able to do this. Well, okay, but what can you do now? Look at your current circumstances and how you can start embodying that energy now. Prompt number 3. What experiences or traits are you most grateful for that help you feel like the rock star of your life? You will hear me say that all over the place around here as well. Being the rock star of your life does not mean you have to be a musician, want to be a musician, or even be in the public light in any way. I always refer to as the rock star of your life as the energy of believing that what you want is possible. So, what experiences or traits are you most grateful for that help you feel like the rock star of your life? Right now, I am doing something and using a trait that helps me feel like the rock star of my life. I am speaking, I am communicating, I am using my voice to share information, to share messages. And this is a complete shift from the way that I perceived this gift, this trait of communication, of talking loud, of being loud. I was one who frequently got comments on my report cards that talks too much, is too chatty. That is a trait that I was gifted with, innately gifted with. I didn't have to develop that gift. It comes naturally to me. But when I started shutting it down, dimming it, and not speaking up and not taking the opportunities to speak my mind, that's when it started dimming. So, this is a trait that is mine. Other people have it as well, but this is a trait that I am grateful for because it helps me accomplish what I want. What this will lead to, I have many desires and dreams, but I'm right now in this moment doing what I can and in a manner that I can, right? So, what traits might you have been dimming because of other people's stories or stories that you created? The question again, or the prompt is, what experiences or traits are you most grateful for that help you feel like the rock star of your life? And they're going to be different and unique for everybody. And prompt number 4 is, what are you grateful for in this season of your life? Think of the fall season. Think of your age season. Think of your career season. Whatever season you are in, what are you grateful for in this season of my life? Right now, I can say I am truly grateful for having manifested the time freedom and the location freedom that I once desired. I am grateful for the ability to, you know, go take my dad to see my brother in the middle of the week, or to go see my new niece that was just recently born in the middle of the week. I am grateful for this time freedom and how that has changed what my days look like, right? I am grateful for the changes I have been able to make in my scheduling. I have a friend who recently, her her second grandchild was born, and she shared something on social media saying she's in her grandma era. So she is definitely grateful for this season of life and her, stepping into and really amplifying her grandma era. So what you grateful for in the current season of life that you're in, whatever aspect or whatever season that happens to be for you? So those are the prompts that I have for you. And let's see what's next. What is next on my little notes? Okay, so a little bit, I don't want to go too deep, but I just want to point these things out that scientific there is scientific evidence, if you will, how gratitude really does shift things. So I'm going to reference them. I will likely go into more detail in these later in other episodes, but I just want to know you to know that in addition to my experiences and my thoughts and my points of view that I'm sharing with you, that there is also scientific evidence. So gratitude um physically how did I write this? Physically and mentally shifts your energy to a higher vibration. So think of vibrations or energy as going up a ladder, and the lower vibration energies are the ones that don't feel great. Despair, frustration, anger, all these things. So they have a vibration like everything does. And as you move up the ladder, up the vibration, it shifts the energy that you put out. So like I talked about at the beginning, it attracts energy or more things to support that. If you are, as an example, someone who says or who has said, or even if someone you know that says, oh, today is going to be crappy. Well, if that is the energy, the vibration that they are in and that they are moving into their day, what are they going to attract? Evidence that supports it being a crappy day. And so if you shift that and say, today's going to be a great day, or I'm open to receiving wonderful things today, or good news, or I'm open and expecting to have a great day, you will see evidence and find evidence and attract evidence to support that. So it is um an energetic shift, and that it changes the energy that you are in and that you are walking through life in, and what you also are sharing and putting out to other people. Um, Let me see. Practicing gratitude is is a practice, is actually something that you need to do to experience the result differently. And developing this gratitude practice is also something that shifts that energy, that amplifies that energy. And there are any number of ways that you can develop or enhance or incorporate a gratitude practice into your life. You can make a gratitude list every, day, once a day, once a week, whatever the case is. You can make a point to say what was the happiest or the best moment of the day today when you're reflecting on your day at the end of the day. That shifts your energy at the end of the day to something positive and looking forward to something. And so then when you end your day that way, you also start your day that way. So you can write in your journal, have a gratitude journal. You can those are the ones that pop up the just as the easiest, like reflecting on what was the best part of your day, what was the best moment of your day, and then obviously making lists or writing about things that you're grateful for. One thing that I will say, when you start getting into the practice of listing things you're grateful for, at first, if this is new to you, I would say making a list of the things you're grateful for is a perfect place to start. And then over time, it becomes very easy to say we're grateful for the same things. And that's not a bad thing, because there are things we should be continually grateful for. Like waking up every morning is a great thing to be grateful for. And so a way to enhance that is to deepen it is to say why you're grateful for it, right? And that might be the same often enough as well, but there might also be some shifts in that. So I'm grateful for waking up every morning. That could be something that I say and that I acknowledge. And some days it's because, oh, I get to go see my niece today. Oh, I'm going to go do this activity today. Oh, I'm just grateful I woke up today because it beats the alternative, right? So it can be the same thing, but the reason why, or looking for additional or deepening reasons why is a great way to enhance that gratitude practice and give you different ways of looking at the thing that you're grateful for on a consistent basis. And then let's see, what was I talking about? How gratitude shifts your energy. So I talked about the science, a little bit about the science and how practicing gratitude gets you in that vibration. And then the last one in this section is celebrating the small wins, because something I also recently heard is the reason that the negative or the challenging or, the hard things seem to be most prevalent is because they pop up quite often. Like we have a challenge this day or something else pops up that was unexpected. And of course, there there's that saying that there really never is a good time for these things to happen. They just happen. And that's why they get the attention. That's why they are like front and center, if you will, because they pop up to grab our attention. Whereas the things to be grateful for the most part, they're there all the time. There might be some new things like when you up level or when you achieve a goal or something like that. But overall, the things to be grateful for, the good things are there all the time. You know, the fruit trees are there all the time. The grass is there. So they're there all the time. And if we don't intentionally pay attention to them, they become background noise. We take them for granted. We don't realize that we haven't been practicing gratitude for those things because they are always there. Whereas the challenging things pop up however frequently they do, but they pop up to grab our attention. And it's up to us to say, and there is also something in the background that is good. There's something there that is good all the time. So, celebrating the small wins also feeds that rock star mindset, that rock star energy. Like things go my way. I get the things that I want, you know, even through the challenges, or maybe because of the challenges. So it all works together. It's all perfectly in sync. It's up to us to focus on the things that move us in the direction that we want instead of keeping us where we are or keeping us looking at evidence, looking for evidence that is not helpful to us. So that's pretty much it. I gave you the journal prompts, gave you some reasons why gratitude is beneficial, and some ways that you can start looking at gratitude at a gratitude practice and incorporating that into your life. If you have questions or have aspects of anything that I've talked about and would like to explore that more, let me know and I could do an episode about it or talk about it in a future episode as well. The best way to get that information to me is by email, which is vision, VISION, at bluemoonmanifestations.com. And I would love to hear your insights, your aha moments. You can do that by email as well. Or you can tag Blue Moon Manifestations on social media, sharing your experiences, and I will cheer you on and look for all those evidences that you guys are sharing out in the world. Journaling is an excellent method to help you document this and help you see your journey about how your gratitude practice evolves and strengthens and develops and how it just becomes a more routine thing for you the more you do it consistently, right? That's not shocking news. The more consistently we do things, the more results we see and the easier it gets to maintain. So that is what I have for you guys. I have many journaling resources. Some will be listed around the information wherever you're listening to or watching this, and just keep an eye out, look at all the places and send me questions if you are looking for those resources or would like to know where they are and you can't find them. Again, reach out by email. And I am grateful for you guys watching and listening to this now and in the future. And I will talk to you soon. Take care.